Lesson number 4 for Thursday, January 26. Special projects, big jar giving. Research has shown that only about 9% of people's assets are liquid and could be contributed as an offering on a moment's notice. Cash, checking, savings, money market funds, and so on are generally considered liquid assets, at least for those possessing things like this. Most of our assets, about 91%, are invested in real estate, such as our homes, our livestock, if we are rural, or other non-liquid items. The differences in the percentages of liquid and non-liquid assets can be illustrated by putting 1,000 pennies in two different glass jars with 10 pennies representing each percentage point. So you would have 90 pennies in a small jar, representing the 9% liquid assets, and 910 pennies in a larger quart-sized jar, representing the 91% of non-liquid assets. Most people give their offerings or contributions from the small jar, from their liquid assets. This is what they have in their checking account or pocketbook. But when someone really gets excited about something, they give from the big jar. The Bible tells many such stories. Mark 14:3-9 says, "But they said, not one on the feast day, lest there be an uproar of the people. And being in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, as he sat at meat, there came a woman having an alabaster box of ointment of spikenard, very precious. And she broke the box and poured it on his head. And there were some that had indignation inside themselves, and said, Why was this waste of the ointment made? For it might have been sold for more than 300 pence, and have been given to the poor. And they murmured against her. And Jesus said, Let her alone. Why trouble you her? She has wrought a good work on me. For you have the poor with you always, and whensoever you will, you may do them good, but me you have not always. She has done what she could. She is come beforehand to anoint my body to the burying. Verily I say to you, whenever this gospel shall be preached throughout the whole world, this also that she has done shall be spoken of for a memorial of her." Who were the main characters at Simon's feast, and what was the value of Mary's gift? Why did she anoint Jesus at this time? Mary's gift was worth 300 denarii, a full year's wages. It was most likely a big jar gift. Following this incident, Judas betrayed Jesus for a little more than 1/3 of that amount. A little jar gift, 30 pieces of silver. It takes real love and commitment to make big jar gifts from our investments. But when we get greedy like Judas, we can sell our souls for next to nothing. The work and activities of Barnabas are mentioned 28 times in the New Testament. We know him primarily as a companion to the Apostle Paul and as a great missionary. But the foundation for all this is established in the first passage where he is mentioned. In Acts 4:36-37, we read of his giving, truly a big jar offering. What a powerful example of Christ's words of Matthew 6:21, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Why is sacrificial giving as important for the givers as for the recipients? From the book The Desire of Ages, page 559, it says, in 560, "In his mercy, Jesus had pardoned her sins. He had called forth her beloved brother from the grave, and Mary's heart was filled with gratitude. At great personal sacrifice, she had purchased an alabaster box of ointment of spikenard, very costly, with which to anoint his body. Breaking her box of ointment, she poured its contents upon the head and feet of Jesus. Then, as she knelt weeping, moistening them with her tears, she wiped his feet with her long flowing hair. Mary heard the words of criticism. Her heart trembled within her. She feared that her sister would reproach her for extravagance. The Master, too, might think her improvident. Without apology or excuse, she was about to shrink away when the voice of her Lord was heard. "Let her alone. Why trouble ye her?" He saw that she was embarrassed and distressed. He knew that in this act of service she had expressed her gratitude for the forgiveness of her sins, and he brought relief to her mind. Lifting his voice above the murmur of criticism, he said, "She hath wrought a good work on me, for ye have the poor with you always, and whensoever ye will ye may do them good, but me ye have not always. She hath done what she could. She is come aforehand to anoint my body to the burying." Have a blessed day.